How are you guys doing today? How's the con been so far?
Very good.
Great. Yeah. Terrific.
Excellent. We're going to get straight to you guys because that's what you're here for, is to ask these gentlemen some questions. Does anybody want to start things off with their first question? No. One of you guys came. There we go. Okay, thank God.
No, not. I don't know. Did I seem scared?
Well, my version of the story is that when I met Alex, you were how old?
6.
6.
Yeah.
He had already seen Fright Night
That's true.
like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
So to think that he would be afraid of doing the movie, he was a veteran at that point.
I should have been afraid of you.
True.
But I wasn't.
Anybody else got a question?
No, yeah, Chucky was always cool, by the way.
I got you guys.
To me, the stuff that the puppeteers did was the coolest thing that I had seen so far in my life. My toys were a little better than my friends. So. Yes?
Yeah, you right there. What you got?
Which one was your favorite movie to film?
His question was, what was your favorite movie to film?
It was Child's Play 1, definitely. It wasn't. No, 1 was challenging in some ways. It was also very, very cold, freezing cold. Yeah,
brutal.
It was like
brutal.
the
Chicago,
coldest winter Chicago had.
Middle of the winter.
Yeah. So that was challenging. It was my first film, though. That's exciting. The second one was also super fun to film, and the TV series was probably my favorite also. Most recent. Your favorite is the most recent, always. Yeah.
You had a question right over there?
Yeah, were there a lot of physical challenges with the puppet and your acting, or can you describe some of those scenarios?
Sure. There was. We both had a couple scenes with him that took a long time. Yours in the car, I know, was a whole lot of work.
Brutal.
Yeah, because, there's one thing I say is, especially back then, the technology has gotten a little smoother. But Chucky makes mistakes a lot. So we do things a lot of takes. And the take that he gets it right, that's the one they're keeping. So you kind of got to bring it every time. And some of them were a lot of takes to make that work.
Yeah, you're working with an inanimate object, basically, almost all the time. So very challenging.
Yeah.
And it was not I wouldn't call it a fun shoot, but it was an interesting shoot.
Yeah.
And the weather was definitely an element that was, especially when we were outside. It was just unbelievably cold. In fact, I still remember a moment when, first of all, the crew was all dressed like Eskimos. They're all dressed with, layers and layers, and we are dressed in basically, this with maybe a long underwear underneath, maybe no hats. And at one point, I had to walk out and scream after Catherine, who was in a cab or something. And I went out, and just then a gust of wind came off of the lake, and I went, ah! Literally couldn't speak. That's how cold it was.
Yeah. And that was slightly relived when we made Curse of Chucky, because it was in the middle of the winter in Winnipeg. It was absolutely insane. Yeah.
You had a question? You did? Okay, go for it.
In your favorite movie, what was your favorite scene to film?
You mean the favorite movie that we were in? Or
your favorite movie you've ever been in, what was your favorite scene to film? Because he has more to choose from.
Probably 2 of them. One was in a movie called Dog Day Afternoon. The scene I did with Al Pacino, and also with Charlie Durning, that character. Those scenes were just great fun. And also working with people. Sidney Lumet, the director, directed as if you were doing a play. So we had, I was in the movie not that much, but there was 3 weeks of rehearsal. And the sets were all taped out on the floor. You had props, so that when you went on the actual movie set, basically you shot maybe 1 take, sometimes 2, because you had rehearsed it. You knew what you were doing. So that one was great. And The Princess Bride. Yeah. And those were all fun. those were all fun.
The Princess Bride had to be the most fun shoot ever. It was.
It was,
It's such a fun movie to watch. I can only imagine.
And we had a good time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any other questions out there? Right there?
Yeah. Well, for me, it was an interesting path to get to there. I started acting when I was 6. When I was 12, I quit. So it was my idea to start, sort of. It was my idea to stop.
Also, you've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah. It's a lot of time in traffic to audition in New York City. So I was ready to take a break, but you know, I was really disappointed when they recast Andy for part 3. I was 10 years old. I mean, it was a difficult thing. The age is not, if it were last year, it would be very difficult too. That's just a difficult thing. But yeah, then for 20 years, I watched Chucky continue and do exciting things. I really liked Bride of Chucky. That got me excited about it again. I liked Seed of Chucky. It was so ahead of its time that it was, took some time. You watch it now and makes perfect sense, all of it. So then when I got a call from Don that he wanted to bring me back for Curse of Chucky, and I hadn't really acted aside from a couple little things. Yeah, it was intimidating, but I was so freaking grateful that I had the chance to do that I just fell right into it. So, and then by Cult of Chucky, now it's 2017. I started this in '87. So, yeah, I played Andy 7 times from 6 to 42. And it's feeling more and more like me. It's getting less and less acting, I guess, at some level.
Next question out there? Okay, yeah.
So Andy Barclay and Charles Lee Ray, do you think that had anything to do with?
What are you trying to say?
Do they? I mean, they sound really familiar. I mean, similar. And then with your name, Alex is still an A with 4 letters, and Andy with an A.
Right. Yeah.
Does any of that have anything to do?
The parallels run a little deeper, even, but that's true. I mean, there's a lot of things about that character that have become a part of me, not in some delusional way that I think, you guys think Chucky's real. I don't. There's a little difference, but
We know it.
yeah, we know it. But yeah, I do feel a parallel to him in a lot of ways. He went through similar things to me. Trauma builds from all different types of things. Maybe not something as drastic as a doll trying to kill you and killing everyone you cared about. But yeah, of course, I see a lot of myself in him. And he can't stop talking about me. That's all he's doing.
You guys have been doing a lot of conventions and stuff. What are some of your favorite moments from attending these? Whether with, meeting fans, or I'm sure you've been asked to sign some interesting things from time to time. So, just what are your favorite moments from being around these horror conventions with all these fans?
I have one particular memory, actually, a woman who's here. I don't know if she's here right now, but I like to talk about the fact that these movies are part of you, not just in the sense that you watch them for various reasons. They give you joy, they give you relief from stress, whatever it is, that attaches you to them. But also you are the reason why we're here. And the one that I remember very vividly, I tell this story all the time, is that there's a woman who I met who was a Princess Bride fan, and she showed me a VHS that she would carry around in her purse, and literally all the time, and whenever she'd go to a friend's house, she would say to them, "Oh, yeah, hi, have you seen this?" And if they hadn't, she'd make them watch it.
Yeah.
And that's how these movies happen. It's not just about people going to theaters. It's also about what you do now, especially, much more, what you do in your home. And that's how, at least, The Princess Bride wasn't a big hit when it came out.
Yeah.
And I don't think The Child's Play was a huge hit
No.
when it first came out. But they have a life because of you. And that's why you're important. And I love to tell the story because it's so illustrative of exactly what this is, why we're here.
Yeah, I mean, without question, the most rewarding part of it is when someone's really excited to meet you, appreciates it, has kind things to say. Sometimes, whether they're anxious in that moment or not, we certainly appreciate that connection. I'm such a huge fan of things. Also, so I really know what it is like to be on both sides of those tables. So my favorite memory, there's a couple people, when I met Kiefer Sutherland at one of the things, that was great. I had so much fun. I had the same feeling that you guys have. There's so much community. I mean, I've been doing this for 23 years now, and usually the last one to go to bed, so I try to make it fun.
Any questions out there? Yeah, right there. And I got you guys next.
For Chris, what is it like playing a character, voicing a character versus Jack Skellington, for example, and working where something that's animated, where not you on screen, it's just hearing your voice come out of this character.
Yeah.
And working with Danny and Catherine, and all the different characters that you got to do the voice acting with.
Actually, the only person I worked with was Catherine.
Was it?
Yeah. So we had one day where we did all the Jack Sally scenes. That was it. I never saw another actor, and the only way I knew Ken Page was coming to these shows.
Okay.
And Ken and I became close friends as a result of doing these shows together and just getting a chance to hang out. He had done a Broadway show with my wife, so she knew him, but I didn't. And we're also both theater guys. That was it was a wonderful, wonderful experience to kind of get to know him.
Was it your?
But the voice question is, it's totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, you're in a studio with a director, and the director's going, try it this way. All right, try it again this way. No,
Yeah.
Okay, now give me 4 just off the top of your head. So it's very creative, but it's far from being in a naturalistic situation where you are,
Yeah.
even if you're working with in a fantastic kind of milieu.
Yeah.
It's very different.
It's a lot of directors or producers or whoever on Zoom with you also. There's a lot of Zooming these days with that. Was that your first animated thing?
First long one. I'd
Yeah,
done a short feature for a friend
Yeah.
who'd created an animated feature and wanted, I was playing an old guy like that, and I was just doing that through the whole thing. Jack was very different because I didn't start until after they'd done all the songs. So I got a chance to hear Danny's voice, and then they just, audition. You go in with a bunch of people, and then they say, "Oh, you do it," and the rest is history. It's crazy.
You had one right over here.
I am, but I'm a bigger 24 fan.
Yeah, do you guys have top 3 favorite horror movies that you would recommend that people watch?
You guys know a lot better than I do. I know of horror movies. I've seen a good amount, but it's funny how you said that. I had told him that I saw Fright Night when I was a kid. I saw a recent interview of me at that age that I had never seen before, and I was saying, I've seen every horror movie. If you've ever, just think of a horror movie, I've seen it probably. That's not even true. That wasn't even true. What the hell was I talking about?
You were very sure of yourself.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I knew.
I was very assured at that age.
Yeah.
I remember it
Fake
vividly.
it till I make it or something.
You want a recommendation? A couple of recommendations? Sure.
Yeah.
A movie called Don't Look Now, directed by a former cinematographer turned director, Nicholas Roeg. It's chilling, but it's not the kind of movie that I think anybody who has kids, which I did when I first saw it, it's very strange. It's beautifully done. And Donald Sutherland, Julie Christie, the parents, of a child that passes away by accident. And it's just the aftermath. And it's just really terrifying. And a movie called Let the Right One In.
Mm-hmm.
The original, the Scandinavian version, which is beautiful in a very macabre kind of way. Yeah.
Yeah, I would answer The Shining because I just love that film a lot. But there have been others along the way. I love the Hostel movies, as messed up as they are. They're really good, though. I just think they're done really well. Fright Night was my first favorite horror film. I mean, I really was. So, yeah.
He's typing away there. Good.
You had one over there?
Yeah. So, Alex, I'm curious, on Cult of Chucky, did Don share with you the storyboard before you shot?
I can't remember particularly that he did, but maybe. Yeah.
Just so you know, because you and I have worked together, I did those storyboards.
You did those storyboards?
Oh, wow.
He probably showed me things in like a binder that he had when stuff flipping through it, but I didn't get to see it extensively. That's very cool.
It was fun to work on.
Yeah, oh, I bet. A lot of white. A lot of white.
Did you know, I'm sure you did, you know, the whole sequence at the end that was cut, where everyone, a couple of guys fall through the glass ceiling and
Yes.
get in the pool?
Yeah.
I wanted to shoot that so badly.
Yeah.
It was so gross, but
Yeah.
it didn't happen.
No, but we did have that amazing, the glass falling through, you know, when she's laying on the bed and the chandelier like shatters through her. That was really cool.
Yum.
Yeah.
Alex, did you get to keep anything from the movies?
A little bit of PTSD, I guess. Yeah, not too much. Not too much. We didn't know it. Back then we didn't know that it was such a good idea to just take things. And I have learned now, not that I've done it, but if you want something, you probably should just take it. Because if you ask, they're not going to give it to you.
Every once in a while they do.
Every once in a while, I've kept some wardrobe. I do have some wardrobe that I was just like, no, I really fought for my beard and wig though from season 2, and they said no.
Chris, I have to ask. It's been a minute, so I don't think you shared a scene with him, but I just want to know if you have any Andre the Giant stories.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
When my children were, I had 2 daughters at the time. I now have 3 children, but at the time they were something like 3.5 and 2. And I was heading to England to shoot on location first. So my family didn't come with me until we went into London and actually shot at the studio, at Shepperton Studios. And so I wanted to explain to the kids why we weren't going to be together for a while and that I was going away. And I talked about the movie, and then I thought, oh, well, I'll tell them about the movie, man. And the movie's got a princess in it. Nothing. And then I said, and let's see, there's a sword fight, and this guy, and I'm going on and on about the movie, and they're just looking at me like, what? Very young. And then I said, and there's a giant. And as soon as the word giant literally ended up on the tip of my tongue, I hear, Daddy, a giant? There's a giant in the movie? How big is the giant? As big as a house? As big as a car? When the giant, can the giant pick you up and eat you? And they would go on and on and on. So now jump cut to, I'm now in England, and every time I would call home to talk to the kids, right? Hi, it's Dad. What's going on? Hi, Daddy. Have you seen the giant? Is the giant really big? Is he big as a car? Is he big as a house? And it would go every time. So finally, after like a month and a half or so, we're moved from Sheffield in, and the kids come to England. And as soon as they get off the plane, right, they're coming out of the thing, and I haven't seen my children in 6 weeks, and I'm dying to see them. Hi, Daddy. Where's the giant? Immediately. So I figured I got to do this. I got to set it up so that they go and meet Andre, right? Andre had a dressing room separate from us because he didn't fit in the regular dressing room, right? He couldn't sit in the makeup chair. He was huge person. So he had it was like a box car. and he had a big table at the end, and he sat at the end, and they made him up, and the entry was like over here, right? And so I arranged it. I talked to him, and I said, "Can I bring the kids?" He said, "Yeah, bring the kids." Yeah, boss. Bring the kids. And so we're walking into the trailer, sort of there. I had one of the girls, and my ex had the other. And we got up the steps, and we turned the corner, and Andre's sitting, and they're so excited, right? And they're looking down, and they see Andre, and then he stands up. And as soon as he stood up, and they start screaming at the top of their lungs. Now, those of you who have small children, you know that sound it's like it enters. It's like an earwig that enters the brain and kind of explodes. And they never stopped. They kept screaming over and over. And then, of course, the daughter Stephanie screaming, and Alexa starts screaming too. So now they're just screaming in unison together. So we rushed out to get them out of there because they were terrified. So I had to apologize to Andre. And I go back in the trailer after we take them back to the car, and they're both shaking. And I walk in, and I say, Andre, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about this. And he said, literally, he said, "It's okay, boss. They either run to me or run away from me." And that was Andre's life.
Yeah.
He was literally, at the one time, he was one of the most famous people in the world. But people had either a revulsion, they were frightened, or he was a magnet. And people would flock around him, literally thousands of people, wherever Andre was. And of course, he was, heads above them. And it was like there was this awe about being around him. And he was an extraordinary human being. He was dignified. He was completely at home with what he was, because he was, for all intents and purposes, what we would call a freak.
Yeah.
For most people. And he was he was very cool about it. He was a gourmet cook. He would break on weekends when he didn't work, and he had a farm in France. He would go back to France and bring back a truckload of food from the farm and wine and cheese. He was an extraordinary man.
And he was capable of drinking a lot of beer and a lot of everything, soda, everything. Yeah.
Oh, he could drink. He could drink, like 5 bottles of wine.
Yeah.
And nothing. Yeah. Although the day we did the reading at the Dorchester Hotel, when we first did the reading, and Andre had had a few, but you couldn't tell really. But after, he went and hung out at the bar for like hours and hours, and he passed out in the lobby of the Dorchester Hotel, and they couldn't move him. Literally, they left him there all night.
Yeah, there's no. What
He
else
was,
are you
I
gonna
mean,
do?
Carrie Ellis, who worked a lot with Andre, I didn't have any scenes with him, but we were on location together. But he talked about, he would go to a restaurant with Andre, and Andre would say, he'd go down the left side of the menu, he'd go down the right side of the menu, he'd order everything, and he'd eat everything. And, he was an extraordinary guy.
Yeah.
Is that enough?
Oh my God, that was perfect. Thank you guys so much. Can you guys give them a big round of applause, please?
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We'll be at our tables the rest
We're
of
both
today.
at our tables. Yeah, come see us.
Yeah, there are tables right across the hall if you want to
Take
go
care,
hang
guys.
out.